Okay, morning guys, it's Alex here. Back up in the wood. We've brought the mini digger back up and Dave's on that. Dennis is on the saw. They're doing a great work. It's pretty much, I think last really hot day that we're going to have. I think the weather's turning tomorrow. We may get some rain, we may not. To be honest, the maize is looking really good given the conditions that we're having at the moment. But I think it's because we're on a bit of a clay base here, and that's just giving it just enough moisture to keep the plant going. I went to Norfolk at the weekend, and anything that looked like it was on light land was basically dying. So for once, our soils are maybe helping us a little bit. Who knows? Anyway, we've got all this timber down. We've got lots and lots of timber to come and collect along there. I'll probably come up with the dump truck and the telehandler to scoop it up and load it up into the dump truck. Yeah, the rate the firewood business is going, we're going to need it this year. We had 10 orders last week, got another 10 orders this week. A lot of those are double bag purchases. So yeah, it's just really insatiable demand I'm finding. But anyway, there we are. We'll go over and have a look and see what the lads are doing with the machine. Just got a wagon coming in, unloading some logs for us there. They'll be chipped, these ones. There's not a great deal of demand for softwood logs. Don't know why, softwood's good, but these will just, I'll stand the chipper here in the winter and they can just chip these straight in. How's it going, Barry? You keep pulling those bolts out, or are you just cutting them out? Okay. Yeah. Goody goody. Okay guys, so we're just taking out this wall here. We're taking down the blocks on the other side. As you saw last week, we were taking down all the blocks here. We've got them all out of the way now. And yeah, we're gonna start by putting a post in this corner here and then putting another post in where that green one is there. And there are panels down there, and then this is going to be 4 meters high, so it's almost going to touch the crossbar on that A-frame there, on that support frame. So yeah, that's our project for this week. I'll lift it up, Barry. Well, that's that panel out then. Where the line was. Well, that is a very tight bag of logs in there. It's not gone down too much on the wheels, has it? It's all right. I think you're within the legal limit there. So, collection for a customer there into the back of his Sparky van. The guys are just cutting the concrete there. That's where the first post is going to go. Okay guys, back here on this conundrum on the drying box. A few people have made some comments on that from last week's video. So just to remind you what's happening, I've got a tube that's coming out the dryer up there, and it's putting in about 10,000 cubic meter per fan. I've got 2 fans. They're running about 80%, so it's probably about 18,000 cubic meters of air an hour going into this drying box. And it's a funny phenomenon because at the front end where the tube goes in, we're creating a vortex and it's sucking air in, and at the back it's all hitting the back and it's blowing out just these last couple of segments where we've got the logs, and so it's drying them all right, but I can't put anything in the front because it's not going to dry there. It's just drawing air in, and of course what's happening is we've got a low pressure spot there. As the air goes in till it hits the end, then it becomes high pressure. So I spoke to Wellvent yesterday. They're pretty much the guys you want to speak to on any drying floor system, and they've asked me what the width was of that tube up there, and it's 400 mil, and it basically said it needs to be about 4 times as big really, and so yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the manufacturer of this. He's saying he can't believe this is happening, and you know, I think it's going to be called hook lift or something, and he was going to go and ask other people who've got boxes like this, but basically Wellvent said it's going to happen. They can see this time and time again. People get a container, they put a fan on one end through a tube. The tube is generally not large enough to take the volume of air, and it's all just sort of blowing down the end, hitting it. So if we had let's say a pipe which is double the size, then the flow of air would be less, and it would, well, the flow of air wouldn't be going so fast out of the tube, but you'd be getting more flow going through. It would fill up the inner A section of that box, and it would then be distributing more evenly. They did say I could put another tube on there, which I might have to do out the other exit port, which is there. Let's see if I can get it. There it is. And so we have 2 tubes coming down. I cut another flange into the back of that. They said it would help. It wouldn't completely solve the problem because there just isn't that volume of air to go through. It'd still be going through at quite high pressure, but it would be a start. So yeah, I don't know exactly quite. That's probably what I'm going to have to do here. It's just a bit disappointing because you buy something off someone, you think drying logs in a container, they must have got this sorted, but I don't know. I just can't believe what an organisation would sell that and not put the right flange diameter on the front. There you go, that's life. Barry and Richard are just squaring up this hole. They've dug out some of the gravel which is beneath the tarmac, and I actually put it level planes below the tarmac, and then I put ironstone beneath that. You might just be able to see a bit of orange there, and then we're hitting into clay stuff below that. This is all the soil that I gradually compacted in when I was building up the space level. We're about, well, you can see from here, we've got quite a height up here. I had to put in about 10 metres of fill across here. So that was my job one summer. Putting it in a foot at a time, I can tell you, it was seriously boring. Same time as we've got that going on, we've got wood chip being graded out through the wood tech grader and being loaded up into the shed. We've got that whole tree from yesterday, and we've got Dennis storing up logs on the log bench because we keep getting the orders coming in for that. Okay guys, I have been away for a few days and the lads have got on really well with putting in 2 panels here. They've dug all the holes. I'm just going to give you a little close up and show where the panels are going to come to and how it's going to look when it's finished. So I'll flip the camera around and take a look. Okay guys, so they've dug out these holes here. They're going to be pretty deep. All of that is made up material. First of all, I put a layer of tarmac down, and then I used some of our ironstone from the quarry I got a crusher in. Didn't do a great job because there's a fair amount of clay in that ironstone. But then below that, this is all material that I dug out from our lagoon that we put down here. So the lagoon base has all been filled up to make this drying plateau, which is so much higher than the AD plant. We've got another hole over here, site to fill up with water. These panels are 6 meters long, and we're going to have 3 on top of each other. They're 1.5 meters each. The final panel is just going to be 1 meter, so it's going to be 4 meters high, which will take us to the height of that beam there. They're going to drop the panels in there, and that will then give a nice little wind protection, because it's the southwest we're looking at, and most of the wind is southwesterly, so it just blows all this chip out when it's dry in the winter, which is a bit of a nightmare. And there's a final hole there. It looks like it's filling up with water. I've always struggled with this pad to keep the water out of it, which is kind of weird because it's actually built up, but you know, it just shows how water can get into everything and seep up, and it's just a proper old nightmare. We've got some logs down from the wood, which is all going to go into firewood. The guys use the dump truck and the forks to take that down. So that's been a job for last week, and so yeah, there we go. Okay, so the guys have lifted the second panel in place. It's actually starting to look pretty high now. We've got another meter to go on top. That's probably going to be a slightly trickier one because there's that cross beam over there. It's in the way. So there we go. Just want to make sure I don't fall in that hole. Is it going to fit, Barry? I'm just wondering, will it fit? You really want to have a safety harness when you're up that high? Okay, so Barry's just cutting out a little gap in that panel, the top panel, that will fit up there, just up into that little gap there. I think, yeah, there's my burnt finger. So it'll just go in there, just cutting out just a little hole, and then they can place it in there. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed that, please think about subscribing, and we'll show you next week's video, see how we got on putting up those concrete panels. We'll take a look at the maze, and yeah, we'll tell you all the other things we're up to. Okay, cheers then, bye.